Oh, it's fucking piece of shit. Finish. Oh, there we go. I guess it's not gonna let me do it sideways. I guess I'm gonna have to do it like this. Piece of shit. I thought I was gonna be able to stream landscape, but I guess not. I was trying to finish this piece of pizza before I went live, but I was like, ah, fuck it. I'll just finish it while I'm live. What's up, everybody? Fuck that. I ain't starting over. What you see is what you get. What's up, everybody? The number one thing I hate about watching other people's live streams is when, because usually when I watch other truckers' live streams, I see them after the fact. So when I end up watching them, like the first like 5 minutes of the video is just them saying like, oh, hey, what's up, man? We're gonna wait for a little while until everybody gets in here and all that shit. I ain't doing all that shit. That shit drives me crazy. I hate that. I say fuck it. This is Pilot Pizza. Or, yeah, Pilot. Good old Pilot Flying J Pizza. Let me tighten this shit. There we go. 18 people, 20 people, cool. I didn't even think anybody was gonna show up for this shit. No, I didn't get it free. How would I get it free? My day is going good. Seeing as how it's my only day off, it actually went pretty well. I'll look that video up. I'm up in Michigan right now, and it's like 4 inches of snow outside. Snow and ice is fucking freezing. I'm cooped up in the truck all day. All right, I'm done with that. I go in the back, the heat's running on high back there. It's hot as shit in here. Let's see. Yeah, post that link, man. I'll check it out. You know, I actually think I made a video one time making an actual parody. You know what? No. The idea for the video was that I was gonna parody every other like real popular trucker YouTuber, and I had like a list of all the shit that they do. Like, who is it? Like LaShawn Parks, Trucker Brown, Allie Knight, Little Guy Trucker, and I think Ike Stevens and a few others. And I had this list of all these quirky fucking things that they do and shit that they do in the videos that drives me crazy. But I think I ended up making the video and it wasn't good, so I never posted it, and it sucked. Yeah. I don't really care for that guy. Oh, fuck it, I'm gonna leave that up. I don't hate the guy, not my flavor. Why aren't I training at rail? That's a great question. I've thought about it, but here's the two big things. One, I have a dog with me, and I don't think they'll let me train with a dog. And the second thing is, training kind of sucks. And I've done it before, and I hated it then. And even though it'd probably be better at this company. The third reason is I have to go and lease a whole other truck. Because as you can see, there's nowhere for a trainee to sleep back there. you know. But no, I'd definitely be a better trainer now after 2.5 years than I was after 6 months. That's for sure. Way better trainer. I hate how, I don't know if you guys have never done a live stream before, I could see the chat, and then after a couple seconds of no one saying anything, like the chat fades away. I fucking hate that. I wonder if I could change that. Does rail run van? Yeah, dude. Of course it does. I think rail is mostly van, to be honest with you. The great thing about rail is they run just about everything, though. You know? My camera's wrong. I tried to set it up landscape and it wouldn't let me do it. It told me I have to turn my fucking phone. How much extra would I make as a trainer? Dude, that's a gnarly question, because as a percentage lease driver, like, there's a lot of figuring I'd have to do. I don't know, that depends on a lot of different factors. Probably wouldn't make a whole lot more, to be honest with you, than I make now. But I'm not sure. I'm from, let's just say I'm from the northwest side of Houston. I'm in that northwest corner. Let's just say that. You know? I bet half the people that subscribe to my channel are all Western Express drivers. You know, and if you did watch my videos and start driving for Western Express, I really hope that if you started driving for Western Express because of my videos and you fucking hate it, dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. They're not a great company. I'm just saying, you know, but I tried to put as much info out there as I could, so. You have to turn it before going live. I thought I fucking did. I turned it and then I hit go live, and I don't know. Next time it'll be right, okay? Next time I'll get it all figured out and shit. I'll just have to put my thumb on the screen so I can see what the chat is saying. You work for Knight and Swift. How the hell's that work? Oh, I'm gonna roll. I don't want to roll that window down because there's a truck idling. But I don't want it to get... You can see it's like a fog machine in here. Big companies aren't that bad. I mean, in my opinion. They got their ups and downs. Yeah, I mean, truth be told, I probably wouldn't. I probably would not. No, I would not ever go back to Western. You know, I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. I tried to say, look, this company's not all bad. There's a reason I drove for them for a year, and here's the reasons why. You know. I just stuck it out, but maybe I should come back. Yeah, maybe it's not that bad now. It got really bad around the time I quit. But look, here's the problem with Western Express. Here's the big problem about Western Express, and I didn't realize this till after I quit. The problem with them is that they have they use a per diem mix in paying you. So, and I didn't know this until I started working at rail. When you look at your paycheck at Western, you're only getting paid like 18 cents a mile. The other like 18 or 15 cents per mile is your per diem mix. That's money that you could be claiming on your taxes, that instead of you being able to claim on your taxes as a deduction, even as a company driver, the company, Western Express, is claiming that money. So really, you're only making 18 cents a mile. Because as a company driver, if you stay out like I do, you could claim that on your tax return. You can get like $5 grand if you don't go home all that much like me. So that's something I didn't know about them when I was working there, you know. So really, that's why they run like dirt cheap freight, because they're only paying their fucking drivers less than 20 cents a mile, you know. Yeah, I could see big companies micromanaging. Yeah, kind of. You know what the number one thing that drives me crazy about where I'm at, you know, leasing and working in this company, is the Bendix system on the truck with the radar out front. That's what I hate most about what I'm doing now, is that fucking thing drives me crazy. Oh my god, I wish I could have a truck that doesn't have a radar on it anymore. How much did I make in a year with Western? I'd have to guess. I can't remember the exact number. 40 grand? 45 grand maybe? I think, no, okay, I think I made about 45 or something like that, 45, 50, but I think that's because I was a trainer for a little while. So it pumped up my numbers, but I think I did about 45 or 50. Actually, ATS was my first choice before rail. And it was actually, they qualified me, and I was going to quit Western and go to ATS. Then right before I left Western, I got into that little accident, that DOT recordable in that truck stop, and which I think I've talked about before. But then I called ATS back and told them about it, and they said, oh, sorry, we can't take you now. So then rail was my second choice, and rail said, we'll take you. You know, so that's how I ended up here. But I think it worked out. I think it worked out better than working at ATS. I like the freight that they haul, but I like it here. I'm at Benton Harbor, Michigan, I think. I'm at the Pilot. I think it's Benton Harbor. I'm in this narrow little strip of land of Indiana and Michigan that got all the snow last night. That winter storm. By the way, what's up to everybody that's been saying what's up and I haven't been, you know, acknowledging. I can't acknowledge every comment. I'd have to go all the way back to the beginning, but what's up, everybody? I didn't want to work for TMC because just my initial impressions from them, like seeing their ads for employment, is I could tell how like veteran friendly they are, which is a great thing for veterans, but I'm not a veteran, and a company I could already kind of sense like it kind of seems like they only want veterans, because that's how they were kind of marketing their advertising for drivers. You know, oh, we're so veteran, we're so veteran friendly and all this shit. And I was like, maybe that's not a good match for me. You know, and I think I was right, because I've had guys tell me that they run shit like it's the fucking Marine Corps over there, you know, and they don't allow dogs in a truck, so that was a big no. You know, that was a huge like, no, fuck that. You can keep your Peterbilt. I don't need it. There's a lot of companies I didn't work for because they don't allow dogs. I couldn't go to P&S because I didn't have 2 years of experience. I don't know if they've changed that, but when I was looking, you had to have 2 years experience to go there. And they got, P&S is like a better, I call them penis, by the way, whenever you see them. Hey, what's up, penis? Anyways, P&S is like, they're like a better Western Express. They got same trucks, same looking trailers, they run the same lanes and shit. I wasn't interested in it. I wanted to get out of the South, to be honest with you. I love me, I'm not, this guy said I love me some lot lizards. I didn't just want to say it because I don't personally love lot lizards, but that's great, man. I don't know what I did with my other vaporizer. Oh, you know what? I got a quick little story to tell you guys real quick. Let me grab my other vaporizer real quick. Where the fuck is it? Oh, there it is. Well, I'll tell that. Maybe I'll make a video out of that story. I don't think I've ever told it. What made me get into trucking? I don't think I've ever brought that up. I'll try to condense it really fast. basically, when I was with my ex-girlfriend, you know, before I got into trucking a couple years ago, I was working full-time at an auto shop, I was working like 7 days a week, you know, or then I went down to 5 days a week, and then on the weekends I was working 30 hours on Saturday, 15 hours Saturday, 15 hours Sunday, delivering moonwalks, which is a gnarly fucking job, not in a good way. But look, basically I was looking for a way to make some extra money because we were kind of tight on cash. You know, this place we were living in was really fucking expensive. So I was actually looking for a driving job, just like a simple local driving gig, like overnight, like a night job to make some extra money. And I wasn't looking at like a CDL gig or anything like that. I always thought, nah, you got to go to CDL school and it costs a lot of money and I can't get into all that shit. I was really just looking for like maybe a career position or something like that. But then when I went on the internet, I started seeing all these get your license for free, you know, if you drive for us, and make 60 grand your first year and all that shit. And I was like, damn, you know, that's something that it's a career I could go into and make really good money the first year starting out, you know, and then, you know, it's something I could build on. So, you know, I brought it up to my ex, my girlfriend at the time, and she was not a fucking fan at all. It's basically told me, fuck that, you're not doing it. Then the next day, I you know, kind of started talking to her again about it, and I convinced her, and then, you know, I ended up putting in applications at companies and shit, and that's how that happened. The rest is history. Lot lizards don't exist, it's a myth, just homeless women. That's funny. Come on now, bring up the comments here. There we go. No, I don't use lot lizards at all. I have a video talking about that too. I don't mess with it. I don't. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'd rather have money than pussy. I said it. And I meant it. I think money's better than pussy. I can't remember who said that, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I think. Like, I can't remember who said it, but look, money's better than pussy, because you get the money, the pussy will follow eventually. So that's, you know, so just giving money away for it, you know, I'm not into that. You know what I mean? Not a fan. 37 people, man. I thought it was just gonna be like 1 or 2 people in here. If like nobody showed up for this live stream, or if it was just 1 or 2 people, I probably just would have deleted the video and just not done another one. Like, well, that was a fucking failure. Let's see here. Yeah, man, honestly, I'm actually super content being single. Like, I'm kind of at like the best place I've ever been in my life. You know, I think I'm fatter than I've ever been in my life. I got 20 pounds I need to lose, but you know, being single is really working out for me. Yeah, there you go, 50 Cent. There we go. That's no bullshit either. You know, and I try to tell my buddies that, you know, don't worry about the girls, just worry about doing you, you know? What was my yearly salary when I started? When I started trucking? I think I did 45 that year, I guess. You know? And right, what is it now? Probably 90 grand before taxes come out, I'd say. You know, it's ballpark. I could look at my numbers and give you a real good estimate, but they're in my laptop. I'd have to bring all that shit up. But I think before taxes, I think I'm grossing about 90. I am enjoying it, man. I'm going to enjoy it as long as I can. And honestly, if I have my druthers, I'll never get married. I'm going to roll that up. If I roll this window down, is it loud? Tell me if it's too loud and I'll roll it back up. I started vaping, I think, a month ago when I quit smoking. I quit, which I made a video about. But I quit smoking, and then that very same day I started vaping. And it's actually working really well. I deserve more subs, man. You know what? Look, my channel is a lot like Doug Stanhope, the comedian. If you guys have ever listened to Doug Stanhope, you know, his shit is not very mainstream friendly. It's kind of a niche, offensive kind of act, but I really love that kind of shit. My channel's a little bit like that, so that's why I'm not like Alley Knight and Little Guy Trucker with the fucking drone footage, you know, and their bullshit fucking videos are all G-rated. You know, I talk about what the fuck I want to talk about, so that's part of the reason, you know, I think my channel hasn't blown the fuck up, but it don't bother me. I know I say you know a lot, but you know what? Like, and I didn't notice I did that ever until I started watching my own videos. I was like, shit, I say you know a lot. But it's because I'm not the kind of person that says a lot between speaking. I don't do that all the fucking time. So you know is kind of like my I guess, you know. Like, you know, like how Barack Obama used to do it all the fucking time, you know? You can watch those compilations of Barack just saying, all the fucking time. I've been trucking for 2.5 years. About 2.5 years. OTR. Will I ever drive local? Probably next year. Next year or so, maybe late next year, I don't know. After I have 3 years over the road, I'm gonna reassess, you know, and look at my money situation and all that stuff. It's badass at Rail. You should come work here. Once I don't work for Rail anymore, I'll put out, I'll unprivatize and put out a bunch of videos about Rail that I can't put out while I'm working here, telling you guys, like telling everybody that they should come work here and why, and it's a badass company. But there's a lot of shit that I can't, while I'm working here, employed, contracted here, I can't, there's a lot of shit I can't show you and talk about. It's against the fucking rules, you know? But it's good, it's badass. Come on, phone. Jesus, I wonder if this is better to do on a laptop. Maybe I'll do it on a laptop next time instead of my phone. Is Little Guy Trucker in here? Little Guy's not in here. The Little Guy show is different from Little Guy Trucker, right? Or is it the Little Guy show? Because he asked, who's that lonely housewife? And I was going to bring that story up. I'll just, all right, real quick. Okay, early on in my channel, I think when I was still at Western, there was a channel out there, a person on YouTube called, it was titled Lonely Housewife, and she would comment on my videos, right? And she would, every time she'd comment on my videos, she would put in like 4 paragraphs about how she was a lot lizard in Florida or some shit, and that she fucked Little Guy Trucker and had his kid and was trying to like embarrass him publicly into like paying child support or something like that. And she would spam the shit out of all my videos and stuff like that, you know, until I basically muted her so she couldn't spam my shit, you know. But anyways, see, that's another thing is recruiting, man. I didn't get recruiting bonuses at Western. I don't get them here, you know. And I actually talked to quite a few people at Western when I was still there that started working at Western because of me, because of my videos and shit, right? But here's the problem. To get that recruiting bonus, every person that starts starts at the company, I have to give them like my name and information and truck number and shit like that. And I don't want to give out that information. I don't want anybody to know that shit. So for instance, if a guy's like, hey man, give me your information so that you could get the recruiting bonus, I'm like, okay, here's my name, phone number, truck number, and information. and they say, oh, I know who the fuck you are, and I got your phone number, and blah blah blah, and I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna dox you and shit. I did just fuck that. I make plenty enough money. I don't need the recruiting bonus. I ain't worried about it. You know what I mean? How was it at Western Express? That's way too much for me to explain right now. Go back to my earlier videos about Western, and you'll see how it was. Especially the rant videos I made while I was working there. And you'll see what it was like. What do I recommend? I can't really recommend a company to anybody specifically because it depends on what you want. It's different for everybody. I really like working here, you know, and they've got different divisions, but look, I mean, we got drive cams in our trucks now. I don't, but company does, and some guys don't like that shit. So, you know, there's that. Let's see. I don't know what the SAP program is. What the hell is that? Probably something bad. Honestly, if I go local, I don't want to haul van. I want to haul flatbed if I go local. I want to try to. Drug abuse program. You probably get in at Western, or a company like Western, because they'll hire just about anybody, you know. That's probably as good as it's gonna get. You know, I mean, you can maybe lie on your application at certain companies, and you know, not tell them about it, you know. But then you know, a lot of companies like this one, you're gonna have to pass a hair follicle test. So there's that. What do I recommend for local? I can't recommend anything local. I haven't worked local. Did I say face cams? I meant drive cams. This company, the company drivers have drive cams that watch forward and they watch the driver now. Which I'm not a fan of. And I made you know what, full disclosure, I made a video about drive cams, you know, giving my opinion on it, but I didn't put it up because at the time the company was actually kind of really pushing these drive cams as like they're really beneficial and stuff like that, and I didn't want to put out a video criticizing them and then the company see that and say, you know, what the fuck, man, we're trying to sell people on these drive cams and you're basically shitting all over them or whatever. So just to, you know, so I wouldn't step on any toes with the company. You know, right now that video is privatized. I may unprivatize it someday though. No, they don't see you sleeping with the drive cams. It's like, it's weird. It's like it only records in certain instances, like if it feels a hard vibration, or if you press the button, or if you hard brake or whatever situation, and then it takes the clip and sends it to a third party, and that third party determines if the carrier gets to see it or not. That's what they say. You know, so if it's like a video of nothing happening, they delete it, you know, to preserve your privacy. You know, because they're only supposed to look at videos of something actually happening. You know, privacy and all that shit. But you know, I'm not a fan of it. Not a fan. How'd you get the screen name Little Guy Trucker Show? Does he know that you have his, you know, does he know you have that screen name? My dog's about ready to go out. Yeah, I mean, how are you supposed to jerk off while you're driving if you've got a drive cam, right? Making myself great again. Later, E Street. Take it easy. Let's see what's going on here in these comments. What trucks does Rail have, or Western Express? Oh my god, here we go with the trolls. You know that I could block people, right? You know that I have that. I have that ability to do that. It is pretty good, I will admit. I'm about to block your bitch ass. That's what I'm saying. The truck is basically your home. You know, you live in this truck. You know, that's what I don't understand. I was thinking this yesterday. I don't understand some of those guys out there that, like, from time to time, they'll get a hotel room. You know, like the pilot I'm at, there's a hotel right there, like 100 feet away. And like there's truckers that will go get a hotel room, you know, just to, you know, so I can sleep in a real bed for a night and stuff like that. And I mean, I guess I understand that, but, you know, not really. It just kind of seems like a waste of money to me, because, you know, it's like leaving your house to go sleep in a hotel. It doesn't make sense to me. Rails rocking Cascadias, and I don't know if they're buying Pro Stars anymore. They're starting to get those new international LTs, which I don't like. I like Pro Stars, but that's pretty much it. Pretty much all they got. I'm just hitting it a lot right now, just because, you know, my mind is going. I'm not even paying attention to it. Like if I'm drinking and I'm sitting around with my buddies having like a drunk conversation, like back when I smoked cigarettes, you know, I would just chain smoke, you know, if I was really into talking about something, and I wouldn't even realize it. It'd be like a subliminal thing. This fucking guy. Bam. Matt Lauer. That's fucking dope. That's that's a dope screen name. I'm in Michigan. They have 10 speeds and autos here. They have both of them. It kind of depends on, you could tell them what your preference is, but it kind of depends on availability. And it kind of depends on if you can drive a 10 speed. Like, they asked me if I could drive a 10 speed, and I was like, yeah. So I think they just ended up giving me one. I need mods. I have a mod. It's right here. And then I have this guy right here. I have this other one. I have 3 of them. Yeah, I vape like all fucking day. I just that's why I got 3. I'm thinking about buying a 4th one, just because, like, you know, the batteries die and the coils go bad and can't drive a 10. There's people that can't drive a 10 speed. There's fuckload of them out there. You know, there's guys that like know how to drive a 10 speed but are not good at it, and so they beg the company for an automatic, you know. And hey, it happens. There's a lot of guys that do that. I like the International LT is cool. I really like the interior and shit, but they took away the features about it that I really like the mirrors and the way the windows are set up. Like this, like my phone mount is mounted to the quarter window, like the little vent window. They did away with that shit on the LT, you know. And like, I know these mirrors are big giant fucking blind spots, but, you know, I like these mirrors. I like the way they're set up. Now I'm talking about. Oh yeah, okay, I see what you're talking about. There's 26 people on the live stream right now. I don't really need a moderator. I could just block someone. Like, moderators for guys with like 8,000 or 20,000 subscribers or 50,000 subscribers, where the live chat is like flying by at fucking lightning speed. You know, I could block. Like, I'm about to block Homeboy in just a minute here, but what's up, Mike? I don't know if Volvos suck, man. I will tell you this, Volvo drivers suck. And look, man, not trying to throw shade if any of you guys watching this are Volvo drivers, but look, man, like, I've noticed lately that like every Volvo driver I've come in contact with drives like a fucking asshole. I don't know why. Day cabbers, sleeper trucks, it's like they all drive like dicks. I don't understand it. I'm not giving out my real name, buddy. If I was gonna give out my real name, that would be the name of my channel. You know, I wouldn't have a pseudonym, surname, whatever. A lot of people that drive Volvos really like them. That's what I hear. I'll keep my ProStar though. That's why I wanted a ProStar, is because instead of a Freightliner. It's one of the reasons why, out of many. But Freightliners rattle like Freightliners have the shittiest fucking ride. You know, I drove a Cascadia. I used to drive one, and this truck, it's just way better. You know, it's less road noise and stuff like. It's quieter. It's just better. It's a lot smoother than fucking Freightliner. I hate the way Freightliners ride. You feel every crack in the road. Hey man, look, coil haulers do kind of drive like dicks, man. I'm just saying. You know what? Not coil haulers, like steel haulers, I find kind of drive like, you know, outlaws. I don't know what that's all about, but see, some of these questions are answered in other videos, by the way, but right now what I'm making a week is going up and down because of the holiday season, so it's all over the fucking map. But average week's probably $2,400 before taxes, before I take taxes out. Average week, probably. You know, of course, the holiday season's all fucked up, but that's what I was talking about in that video about saving up money to go home. Like, I had to save up money before Thanksgiving, and that money that I've got right now in my checking account, I've got to coast on all the way to January, because I'm just not making all that much money right now in the holiday season. You know? So I think I'll be fine. And that's with buying gifts and taking time off and spending money and all that shit. I think I've got enough. Log truck? Yeah, kind of. You know what? Some log truckers are assholes, and some of them are actually real friendly. You know, I think it's either or. That's what I've found anyway. Not all log truckers are that bad. A lot of them run really fucking illegal, though. I know that. That's one thing I do know. So was the live stream a good idea? Should I do another live stream at some point? Is it worth it, or was it just a total fucking waste of time? You know, I know I've been saying I was gonna do one, and I just figured, you know, I could just, because you know, people have there's things that people wonder that, you know, maybe I never get around to answering their question in like a comment section or something, and I've just figured, fuck it, I'll make a live stream. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. You know, to be honest with you, I'm kind of burnt out. You know, it's kind of, everything's gotten kind of robotic. You know, it kind of gets to a point where the job's not as exciting anymore, is because everything kind of becomes very routine. Like when you're a rookie, things are so much more kind of scary and exciting. But then as you kind of get things down pat, as far as shippers and receivers and all the shit you got to deal with and securing loads, you know, you do get a little bit burnt out, especially because I don't go home as often as I probably should, so that hurts too. But you know, I still enjoy the job, just not as much as I used to enjoy it. You know. Yeah, Ryan, that's part of the reason I want to do a live stream. You know, and I was thinking, you know, anybody that had a question or comment to make on a video I've made before could bring it up now, and I could address it. You know, I know that's kind of putting people on the spot, but I've kind of slowed down making new videos recently because you know, it's not quite as much to talk about. You know, sometimes I want to talk about something and I'm thinking, there's already a bunch of other trucker YouTubers that have made videos about shit like that, you know, but they didn't make that video, like, talking about, I don't know, CDL school or whatever, you know, just rookie beginner type shit. People looking for answers on YouTube about the trucking industry, you know, and there's other truckers that have done those types of videos, but they haven't done it from my perspective. So I don't know. Time is flying, man. I'm telling you, these last 2 years have gone by like nothing. Like the other day they were talking about how Trump's been in office for a year already. And I'm like, damn, I remember election night. You know, it feels like it wasn't all that long ago, you know, but we're already a year into this. But, yeah, time does fucking fly out here. Well, thanks, man. You're one of the few people that really love my channel. I stay out about 2 to 3 months at a time, depending. You know, like after I come back on the road, come back out on the road after Christmas, I'll probably stay out for 3 months. Because it costs money. You lose a shit when you're leased. You lose a shit ton of money when you take off. You know, because you stay out for 2-3 months. You don't want to just take a weekend off. You want to take a week off. When you take a week off, you know, you lose a fuck ton of money. It takes 3 weeks to come back from that, get back to where you were. You know. Yeah, that lottery ticket rant video, that's actually one of my favorite videos that I've ever made. I fucking love that video. You know, because it's just, I feel like I can watch it right now and I feel exactly the same way right now as I do when I made that fucking video. You know? What freight pays the best at rail hauls? Flatbed. And the reason I say that is because flatbed, we can run percentage. You can't run percentage in any other division. I think reefer freight is almost on par with the same kind of rates, but those guys are sliding scale mileage, lease drivers. They don't get percentage. So flatbed pays the best percentage. You think I'm lying about that $2,400 a week, huh? I made a video actually proving that I made that much. I made it a couple months, like maybe 6 months ago when I started leasing, because people were saying that. They're like, "There's no fucking way you're making that much money lease." And I was like, "Okay, well here's the fucking, you know." And I showed my, I didn't show my stub, but I went to the web portal that shows that my weekly incomes, and it's on there, dude. Go watch the video. I proved it. I don't know anything about the new about blood pressure standards. You know, my blood pressure is fine. You know, of course, I was 20 pounds lighter, I think, on my last physical, or at least 10, 15, but I don't think my blood pressure's gone up all that much. I didn't vote for Trump because I didn't vote for anybody because I didn't make it home in time to fucking vote. So I didn't even get to vote. You know, it just didn't work out. I thought I could do like an absentee vote, but apparently it's not as easy as you think it is. It's like actually pretty fucking complicated. I'm in Benton Harbor, Michigan, I think, right next to the lake. That's what it looks like outside. Icy and snowy and cold as fuck. Ugh. I don't know anything about the blood pressure standards. You know what? I was just happy that they didn't want to do a sleep test for apnea on me. I don't have apnea, but I don't know. I've heard bad things about those tests. They end up testing you, and they end up saying, "Oh, you've got apnea. Here's a CPAP machine you don't need." You know, and because maybe I snore if I sleep on my back, but I don't ever sleep on my back. Just shit like that. I was just happy I didn't have to get a CPAP. You know. I I don't know who Choice Moss is, homie. Yeah, we run a lot of freight around the Great Lakes area, bro. A lot of freight around the Great Lakes in the Midwest, stuff like that. 2,400 a week consistently. No, dude, I'm telling you. Like, I think the video I made, I brought in like two $2,400 checks in a row, or maybe 3 of them, and I think one week was like a $2,000 week or something like that. Yeah, here's the thing, dude. Here, disclaimer. You know, my pay goes up and down depending on lots of different factors. But if it that's an average fucking week. If it's not a holiday season, if I stay out running and I just run hard and I just, you know, stay on the board, $2,400 gross is a very average week. An excellent week is $3,200. I think I've done 3,300 weeks before. You know, that is an excellent week. 2,400 is an average week, and then a slow week would be like 1,800. You know, but no, it's definitely possible. That's why I put it in that video about how much you can make driving percentage lease and shit. You know who makes $1,900 as company drivers? Guys in California, all the fucking time, from what I hear. California guys, local, and they love saying, dude, I make like $1,800 a week and I'm home every night and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, it's also expensive as fuck to live in California. Like, your taxes and cost of living is like high as shit, and where I live it's way lower. You know, I think California's what, 3rd in the nation for cost of living or something like that. Yeah, when you start out, your pay is going to be shit. You know, regardless of where you work, regardless of what you haul, your pay is going to be all over the fucking place when you start out. And that's just because you don't know how shit works yet. You know, you're going to be one of these guys that's waiting to get loaded for 4 hours, and you spend 4 hours on the on-duty clock, on your fucking line 4, waiting to get loaded. And then by Thursday, you're out of fucking hours, and then you're wondering, man, I'm not making any money. It's because you're burning all your on-duty hours. So by Friday, you can't grab a weekend load because you done wasted all your fucking hours. So, you know. Yeah, man. I live in Texas, buddy. I know maybe that doesn't sound like I live in Texas, but you know, I live in Houston, so. And not to mention, you know, I wasn't born and raised in Houston. That's just where I've lived for the last 17 years or something like that. Yeah, you know, the same thing. Just learning how to manage your hours in general. That's the biggest problem, I think. You know, I talk to rookie drivers all the time. They say, yeah, man. Like, okay, I talked to this guy the other day. I was at a shipper right next to him, tarping a load. And this dude's like, yeah, man, I got to get out of here fast. I only got 1 hour left on the clock. And it was like 4 in the afternoon. It's like, yeah, I started at like 2 in the morning. You know, I'm running on recaps and shit. You know, like, I almost never run like that, where you're up at 2 in the morning, because that's what happens. You're tarping at a shipper with 35 minutes left on the clock because you got up so fucking early, because you're running some kind of weird-ass schedule. You need to try it. At Flatbed, you need to try to kind of keep your schedule sort of standard, because that's how our shippers and receivers are. They work, you know, standard like 7 to 3:30, 6 to 2:30 type of schedules. So that's kind of the schedule you need to keep too. But oh yeah, like yeah, using the GPS on the truck computer. Nah, yeah, you get the hell out of here with that, man. That Copilot GPS software, worthless. It's total shit. I think a couple months when I first started driving, I used the GPS on the truck before I got my Ram McNally that I still have, and now, like the GPS on Rails computer, never used it once, not even as a company driver. Just worthless. Total pieces of shit. Ram McNally is what I use. It's okay, Ryan. We all make mistakes. That's basically what Copilot is. You can get the Copilot software, you can get it on your phone. I think it's free, to be honest with you. It's the same thing. You know, I'm not, look, I mean, using Google Maps is one thing. And like Google Maps is a really, really good map software. Of course, the GPS is useless in a truck. But as far as just like, instead of, you know, needing like a physical map, like an atlas, Google Maps is the shit, especially with its satellite view, which every time I punch a load into my GPS, I verify the address in Google Maps, and then I look at it in satellite view to see what it looks like. And, you know, it's like doing recon, you know. So Google Maps is excellent, especially with traffic, you know. But don't use the GPS on Google Maps unless you're bobtailing. Trust me. Yeah, you gotta use a truck GPS for a truck route, obviously, or for when you're in a truck. There's guys out there that use like TomToms and shit, and Garmin's, like car GPSs when they first start out. You know, I got pulled over one time when I was off the truck route because the co-pilot sent me down the wrong road. Local cop pulled me over, opened my door, and said, "What kind of GPS are you using?" I said, "A co-pilot. It's the truck PC on the Qualcomm." He said, "Okay, cool." He said, if you were one of these truckers out here that I pull over on this road using a TomTom or a car GPS, I'd be giving you a hefty ticket right now. But he said, but because you're using a truck GPS, I'll let you slide. I'll show you how to get out of here. So he must have run into that kind of shit a lot. Companies that hire local drivers directly from trucking school: Coke, Pepsi, 7-Up. You ain't gonna make a whole lot of money though. Trust me, dude. Those are the kind of drivers that end up at the delivering drinks and shit. Is guys that went directly from trucking school, didn't go over the road, and you're not gonna make a lot of money from what I've heard. So that's why I avoided that shit. I hear RL is an excellent company, by the way. I've thought about FedEx as well, going local, but I don't. One, they say you got to work on the dock for like 6 months or something like that. And two, I don't want to haul van. So there's that. But there's actually a FedEx terminal in the area where I live. Hey, man, time flies on these fucking live streams. One of the reasons I want to do a live stream is because, you know, I like watching live streams. Like, I don't watch a whole lot of trucker YouTubers, but one guy that I do watch is Trucker Brown. And for some reason, a lot of the people that watch my videos really don't like Trucker Brown. His channel is in a lot of ways a lot different than mine, you know, but I like watching his live streams. I think he's funny, and I get a lot of entertainment out of his videos. You know, so I could find like one of his hour-and-a-half live streams and set it on my phone and then turn the screen off, and I could just listen to it while I'm driving and shit like that. And I find it really entertaining. That's one of the reasons why I want to do a live stream. Probably not going to be as good as one of his live streams, but whatever. See, that's a port driver, man. See, you know what? If I go local and I end up buying my own truck, which I'd like to do, that may be what I end up doing, is hauling cans in and out of the port of Houston, you know? Which in the past I've said I didn't want to do, but you know what? I go where the money is, to be honest with you. You know? If I gotta haul cans to make that money. No, see, I'm not trying to shit on van haulers, dude. It's a preference thing. You know, I want to, hauling van is just boring to me. You know, so it's like, look, if you offered me, you could haul dry van local for $20 an hour, or you could haul flatbed local for $20 an hour. I'd take the flatbed gig, even though it's more work for the same money, just because it's more interesting to me. You know, that's my favorite thing about running flatbed, is it breaks up, it gets me out of the truck. It breaks up the monotony of just being in the seat all the time. You know, I've just, like, every once in a while when I get that 2,800 mile load and I spend like 4 days just driving, you know, it kind of like just 11 hours and then take my 10, and then 11 hours and then take my 10. I'm like, fuck. I don't think I could haul van or reefer just doing that shit all the damn time, you know? So it's just a preference thing. You know, if I had to, I would. I would just prefer to run flatbed, you know? No, not getting a lot lizard tonight, man. Besides, it's about, I think, 23 degrees outside, so I don't think there's a whole lot of lot lizards walking around out here. But to be honest with you, if there was any lizards running around out here, it actually would be kind of funny, because the whole parking lot is like a skating rink. And so to watch a chick walking around out here, especially in heels, would be actually kind of funny to watch. I'm a dick, I know. I'm in Michigan. The Mid, not the Upper Peninsula. If I was in the Upper Peninsula, I probably wouldn't even have a 4G signal right now. But Michigan. Super Trucker Dan. Who the fuck is that? I need to check that guy out. Eskimo lot lizards. I don't think there's any lizards in the snow, man. I think lizards as a reptile, or they like warmer climates, you know what I mean? I probably 10 times people ask me where I'm at. I should have titled the video, I'm in the live stream from Michigan. See, man, fuck it. I don't even see lizards. I don't see lizards anywhere, hardly. I see them in major cities in the South and the Midwest when it's warm. Every once in a while. So your St. Louis's, your Cincinnati's, and your Nashville's and Birmingham's and shit, I see them, but, you know, El Paso, Dallas, whatever, but up north, I don't see them, even when it's warm. No, I didn't drive for US Express before. I drove for Western Express. Yeah, man, the communist state of Illinois. I honestly fucking feel that way. You know, it pisses me off that, you know what, hey, man, I'm not from Chicago. I don't live there, whatever. I just spent a lot of fucking time there working, and I just think, you know, they want to be so, they want to be so much like New York in Chicago, you know, with the way they've got everything set up, their road systems and their tolls and their politics and shit, you know. And so Chicago kind of, they're so liberal in Chicago, it's like the rest of Illinois, like, kind of suffers for it, I guess. Because I don't think all of Illinois, because Illinois is a very rural state. I don't think all of Illinois is very liberal, but because, you know, they got Chicago, what can you do? California, I hear, is the same way. You know, like a lot of California that's not in the cities or on the coast is right, but because of, you know, all their major cities, they always end up getting leftist governors and all that shit, you know. But anyways, down in San Francisco, parked where? I don't know where to park a truck in San Francisco, man. Yeah, all the West Memphis truck stops are pretty shady, man. No, I don't carry a gun, man. You know, unfortunately, no, I don't. I'd like to, but can't break the rules, you know what I mean? I think, like, you know, and I've talked about this a little bit, you know, in that video where I was talking about guns, but I'm a huge supporter of the Second Amendment, and I think that, and I got into a debate with my buddy about this, and, you know, he's pro Second Amendment too. We go shooting together, but, you know, I think the more people that have guns and the more people that are willing to use them, the better. You know what I mean? I think you'd solve a lot of fucking problems with the crime that happens in this country. You know, a lot. I think you should loosen up open carry regulations, concealed carry regulations, all these bullshit laws that these big cities out in the Northeast and shit have about magazine capacities and all that shenanigans. That's all ridiculous. I think everybody in this country, whether they're a truck driver or you know, just regular person, Everybody should be able to carry a gun on them all the time, anywhere they go. Absolutely, just about anywhere. Except for maybe like a courthouse or something like that. You know? But that's me. You know? That's crazy libertarian talk. Not in South San Francisco. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was in San Francisco not too long ago, and there is nowhere to park a truck out there. Like, fucking nowhere. Even the place where I was delivering didn't even have room to park a truck. It was ridiculous. I don't know how they get freight into that city, to be honest with you. Southeast Regional. Wouldn't know anything about it, man. I know that we have some pretty decent regional gigs, but we have good regional gigs at this company, but you're going to be running a lot of the same freight. You got to keep that in mind. You're going to be running a lot of the same accounts that we have, but you know, keep it close to the house. I hear it. Dude, I fucking hear you, man. That's what I'm saying. You know, it's just like the way that the direction that this country is going in, you know, with everything that's kind of happening. And I know a lot of it's blown out of proportion by the news media and stuff like that, but still, you know, there was a time where I was thinking, you know, with a lot of these protests that are going on, it's this like racial division that's going on in this country is gotten bad. Maybe it's cooled off a little bit, or maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's gotten way worse, or maybe it's not a thing at all. But you know, you gotta. Is there gonna come a time where like you gotta kind of worry about being a white guy in certain places? You know what I mean? Where like you kind of wish you had a gun on you. I don't know. I don't know if we're heading in that direction or not. You know, but I know that the climate that's going on in this country right now. It's not a good direction we're going in, that's all I'm saying. This guy, what a troll. Get out of here, troll. I used to have trolls fuck with me a lot more. Now I think a lot of them have kind of moved on to bigger fish or something like that. I still get them from time to time. See, lizards don't bother me all that much unless they're gonna wake me up, and hitchhikers don't bother me all that much. But panhandlers are a serious fucking problem, not just for truck drivers, but anywhere. In Houston, we got a huge fucking problem with them. You know, panhandlers drive me fucking crazy. They always want to knock on your door and shake your hand and, you know, give you some fucking spiel about, look, man, I'm not out here trying to beg for money, blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, you fucking are, dude. Don't insult my intelligence. Went through one in Louisiana. Went through one what in Louisiana? Dude, CNN is like gone off the fucking rails, dude. Like, you know what? I'll say this. The only reason CNN still exists is because they play it in, like, lobbies, like hotel lobbies and airport lobbies and shit like that. Like, places where you can't change the channel. That's the only reason CNN still gets airplay. That, and I guess there's some people that are, like, real far left that watch them. Other than that, you know, CNN, they're just gone off the fucking rails. Let's see. What do I consider a troll? Well, I mean, basically, universal definition for a troll is anybody that is on the internet, and that's anywhere, YouTube, Facebook, absolutely anywhere, is a troll that is a person that gets online, and really they just say a bunch of inflammatory shit just to piss other people off and to get into like these online arguments and trigger people and shit like that, and they get a rise out of that. You know, and they love fucking with people. You know, they'll come on a video and say, you know, something really fucked up. Say, hey, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're a total fucking idiot and all that good stuff. And blah, blah, blah. And, you know, a lot of times they don't even mean what they're saying. You know, they're just trying to get under your fucking skin. That's really what a troll is and shit like that. Yeah, panhandlers in the city make a shit ton of money, bro. A lot of them do. And there's been a lot of exposés on these panhandlers. A lot of them are driving like luxury cars and shit. Rail orientation was pretty mellow. Like, here's the thing. Rail orientation for me was really mellow. It was just me and like 3 other guys, because I went through the experienced driver orientation. The new driver orientation is completely different, and I don't really know all that much about it. But for me, it was really mellow. It was like 4 days. You know, just went through all, just physical, logistical, filling out paperwork, going through mandatory load securement training, and then, all right, here's your truck. It was really simple for me. But I had experience when I went in. You hope we do have Obama supporters? I hope we don't. I don't think there's any Obama supporters in here, buddy. You know? Maybe that's something I should do. Maybe I should start making more videos about politics. You know? I've had guys ask me, like, man, why don't you make more videos about politics? I'm like, well, because then you turn yourself into a fucking lightning rod, you know? Then you just, you know, you start getting really... Shit gets... People don't have the ability to just like disagree with somebody. You know, if someone has a differing point of view, it's like, oh, they're the worst fucking person in the world. You know what I mean? I have a cousin that me and her have, basically our views on things politically and otherwise are almost opposite in every single way. You know, but I don't fucking hate her for that. You know, she's free. That's the thing people forget. In America, you're free to be liberal. You're free to be Republican or Libertarian. You're free in this country to be a communist or a neo-Nazi. You can do that in this country. And the framers of the fucking founding fathers, they understood that. You know, so a lot of people forget about that. What? You're a Hillary supporter? Oh, I'm never going to talk to you again. Like, well, dude, sure, they disagree with you, but they're allowed to, okay? You know, that's how this democracy, man. Enough of that shit on the XB. What the hell's the XB? CB. Yeah, I keep mine turned down, man. I'm not trying to hear all that bullshit. The requirements for this company? You can't... I don't think you can lease out of orientation unless you've got your own truck already. I don't think. You might be able to. But that's only... You have to have a year's worth of driving experience. And then I think you can lease out of orientation. I think. Don't quote me on that. I drove here for 8 months company. Really, I think anybody, you should, even if you got experience, run company for just a little while. If you're going to lease from that company, lease a truck from them. That way you kind of understand how they do things. You know what I mean? Unless you've already got your own truck and you're leasing on to another carrier, totally different. But, yeah, I don't know. You have to ask a recruiter about that, of the specifics. You know, I was company driver before I went lease. All right, Roy, take it easy, man. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably cut this video off in just a little bit, but I'm having a good time and I don't have to go to bed yet. There's still some people in here, so fuck it. I'll just keep going for a little while. See, look, this is how I feel about Trump. You know, like when I got friends that, you know, don't like Trump. I got friends that do like Trump, and they ask me, like, what do you think, man? I want to hear what you think, because usually my opinion's a little bit different than the norm, right? What I think is, you know, I think Trump is kind of a fucking idiot. Definitely very egotistical, not a very bright guy. You know, he's got a lot of personality traits that aren't great. You know, he says a lot of stupid shit on Twitter and blah, 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 all this shit. Here's the thing. This is what I try to explain to my friends, especially ones that liked Hillary, is that your average person doesn't give a shit about any of that. We don't give a shit about what Trump tweets. We don't care about what he said in the past. You know, we don't care about whatever, you know, weird faux pas he's done that didn't look good in the public eye. We don't give a shit about any of that. Because that's That's why Obama was so fucking popular. It's because like he was so polished, and he had such good prose when he was speaking. And then when no one was looking, he was signing into law all these fucked up executive orders and stuff. You know? So, look, I mean, no, Trump is not very refined, you know, and he's not that smart of a guy, you know, but he's not a politician. You know, that's what we care about, you know what I mean? But, and then Hillary, look, Trump's an idiot, but Hillary's just a flat-out criminal. So, this is what I say. Who would you rather have as president? Would you rather have Al Capone or Forrest Gump? I think that's the decision we had, and we voted for Forrest Gump because at least he means well. You know what I mean? That's the way I think about it. That's funny. Overtaxed in Minnesota. Yeah, for the most part, he's done what he said so far, and that, you know, that's. I think if he stays on the same track he's on right now, he'll probably get reelected. However, I'm still waiting on the healthcare, the health insurance, the ACA. Still waiting on that to get fixed. You know, that was my biggest thing. Is I want them to repeal this ACA, because as an independent contractor, with the money that I make, I am in this little sliver of people that don't qualify for the subsidies and don't qualify for employer-sponsored health care. So I have to get an individual policy. And individual policies are expensive as fuck right now because of the ACA. So it's people like me that are supposed to be picking up the tab for the ACA, and I ain't fucking doing it. I don't know if I'm going to have to pay the tax bill or not. I think it's going to end up being maybe $1,500 if I do. I'll pay it. $1,500 tax fee is a lot cheaper than it would have cost me to get an individual policy right now. So I'm still waiting on them to fix that. But that ain't Trump's fault. That's the Republicans' fault. You know, that's assholes like McCain, you know, but I won't get into all that. You're welcome, man. I'm glad I could entertain. You know, I have a good time doing this shit, and then hopefully you guys get entertained by it. You know, that's all you can ask for, you know. Yeah, it's Congress and the Senate, man. You know, of course the Senate's all fucked up because we have, you know, guys like McCain and Corker, you know, fucking guys like that are basically basically voting for the opposing team. Look at this guy trying to back in here. Ah, he's got it. This little parking lot we're parked in, I don't think it's for trucks. I actually think it's RV parking. But there's so much ice, you can't really tell. You can't really see the lines on the parking lot. So what can you do? I came in late last night. The blizzard was in full force, and I needed to get off the highway. And I was out of time, so I just jumped in here. It was an open spot. Yeah, Trump was the best, pretty much the best we had. You know, here's the thing. I like Ted Cruz a lot. I think he did a pretty good job when he was in Texas. But, I mean, I know he's senator and all that shit. But, you know, Ted Cruz is still a politician. You know? So, you know, I think Trump is just a regular fucking guy. For the most part. I know he's a millionaire and all that, or billionaire or whatever the fuck. But, you know, he's a regular guy in the sense that he's kind of one of us. You know, he's not. If me or one of you guys was to go out in front of millions of people, in front of the whole world, and talk about like the shit that Trump's talking about, like we probably wouldn't sound a whole lot better than like he does. You know what I mean? Because we're not politicians. We haven't been groomed our entire fucking lives to serve in office like a lot of these assholes do. In fact, way back in the day, politicians were regular people that were called to Washington to serve the public, serve the country, and then when they were done, they went back to the private sector. You didn't have career politicians back in the day. That's the way it was intended to be in this country back when this country was established. And it ain't like that no more. You know, you shouldn't be getting rich off of being a politician. That's why they call it a public servant. Servants don't get rich, but nonetheless, I'm glad you enjoy the videos, man. You're one of few. If you boost the economy to, then I don't give a. Yeah, man. So that's the thing, man. Trump's already rich. Not to mention, like, look, he was right when he said, you know, running for president was not a good choice for him to do as a business owner. You know, think of like the CEO of Chick-fil-A ran for president and got elected, and was like Trump. You'd have half the country not eating Chick-fil-A anymore, right? But you know, the guy was already rich when he went into office. You know, so I don't see him starting up any Clinton Foundation bullshit. You know, but yeah, you're right about that. You're right about Ted Cruz, man. You're right about that. I like the guy, but presidential material, I don't know about that. Here's the thing. If Ted Cruz got elected, I don't think he would have gotten a whole lot done. I think it would have been the same old, same old. You know, it would have been, I think it would have been like kind of like George W. Bush all over again, but not quite as bad, maybe. You know? I think Trump getting elected is a good thing. You know, it drives me crazy, all these people acting like it's the end of the fucking world or something like that, you know? But see, the wall, the fucking Mexico wall, the wall on the border is probably going to get built before they figure out this healthcare debacle. You know? At least they're already working on the plan for the wall. You know, they're already talking to contractors and shit like that. The wall will get built. The wall will start to get built. I don't know if the wall will ever get finished. That's the problem. Will they be able to finish it before, you know, a Democratic president gets elected before they finish the wall? They may never finish the thing. You know what I mean? So freight to run. That's what I'm wondering, man. What flatbedders are going to be running all that freight down to the border, out there to the desert? You know, who's going to be running all that freight? I hope they build it, and I hope they put a bunch of what are they, solar panels all down it, like they said they were thinking about doing. I hope they do that. You know. Well, since the chat has slowed down a little bit, I'll tell you guys a quick story real quick. So instead of making a whole video out of it, I'll just drop it in here. The other day, like, I had to go home for jury duty, which, you know, I was in and out in like 45 minutes, but I had to go home for it. When I was leaving the next day, I had to drive empty, deadhead, all the way out to Louisiana to pick up a lumber load and then bring it up here to Michigan. So I left out early in the morning from Houston, and we have this new tollway, which is Highway 99. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to jump on that. And we were having like an ice storm kind of it was actually snowing in Houston, and it was really snowy, which we're not used to. We don't have salt and plow trucks and stuff in Houston. But I was figuring, you know what, I'll take this highway, this bypass, this toll road all the way around, and I won't even have to go near the city, right? I was on that highway for 20 fucking minutes before I come up on a frozen bridge, and there's an accident at the very top of the bridge. The bridge goes up like this, a big-ass overpass. And traffic starts slowing down. I'm thinking, should I get off? I'm like, nah, fuck it, I'll stay where I'm at. Traffic's still kind of flowing, right? And I'm moving up the left lane, and I'm looking ahead. I'm like, okay, there's a car that's like the bumper is straight up against the Jersey barrier. Like, they lost control and they smashed right into the Jersey barrier, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to get over, right? So before I can get over right to where all the cars are getting through, an ambulance comes down the middle of the road, so I have to scoot over for this fucking ambulance. You know what I mean? And then once this ambulance gets up to the accident, they shut down the road there. So we just start sitting there, and then, you know, tow trucks and the sheriff shows up, and, you know, all emergency first responders show up, right? So the sheriff gets out there and starts letting cars go through. Apparently there was two cars that had smashed into each other like this on the highway, and there was you had to go between them, and the ambulance was right here. So the sheriff walks back to me, says, you're not gonna make it, man. You're just gonna have to wait. So me and two other trucks, we had to sit on that bridge for 45 minutes while they cleaned up the scene and all that shit. Meantime, they let all the cars through and shut it down. So it was just me and two other truckers just sitting on this bridge for 45 minutes because we couldn't get through this damn accident. I was just about to get through until the ambulance showed up and they shut it down. But hey, that happens, man. That's trucking. People driving too fucking fast in the snow and ice, you know what I mean? Yeah, Trump's made some mistakes, but here's the thing: I think that a lot of the mistakes Trump has made are like he said the wrong thing or he didn't say the right thing. You know what I mean? I don't think he's made any mistakes like the Affordable Care Act type of mistakes. You see what I mean? Like he said something fucked up in a press conference, didn't disavow something else in another press conference. True. Definitely fucked up. Does it all the time. He's going to continue to do it. I just don't care about a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? As far as actual political, like, shit he's doing in office, you know, I don't think he's made a lot of mistakes yet. You know, one could say that the travel ban was all fucked up, but I don't think it was really as much of a train wreck as people think. You know? Well, maybe I don't know. Whatever. I don't think he's made a whole lot of mistakes, man. I think it's just small shit like that, you know what I mean? I've never been on 99 on the Baytown side. Shit, the other day was the first time I ever took it all the way around since it's been finished. And it's really awesome when it's not covered in fucking ice and snow, but it was actually, you know, pretty great. And the tolls weren't all that much either. Not like in, you know, places like Ohio, Pennsylvania, where it's like $80 fucking in tolls to use a highway. See, I would argue that's actually kind of a good thing about Trump, is all this stupid ass shit that he does and says. It's like, have you ever been so interested in politics in your entire life since this presidential race? Like now, every single day, all the news is just political. You know what I mean? It's fucking awesome. I've never been so into politics as I am now. You know what I mean? Because it's like watching a fucking sport now. It's like this side versus that side, and oh shit, the Democrats scored a point with this, but oh shit, the Republicans scored a point. You know what I mean? It's so fucking interesting now. All they talk about in the news anymore is okay, what Trump did today, and blah blah blah, and Chuck Schumer said this, and oh yeah, there's a wildfire going on in Southern California right now. More on that at 6. Anyways, what Chuck Schumer said, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? You know, by the way, there's a hurricane in Texas, you know, very, very sad, very crazy. Anyways, about these Russian collusion allegations, you know what I mean? It's so fucking gnarly. It's great, man. I think from here on out, forever, I think politics are probably going to be just really fucking interesting. Especially if we end up electing like Dwayne Johnson, like The Rock or something like that. I think from here on out, it's just going to be a big reality show. I don't know. We'll see. See, I'm with you, Mike. I'm all about small government, man. Like, look at the big yellow flag hanging back there. You know, I'm all about governance. But, you know, we're never going back to that. We're not. That is behind us. We're going in the opposite. See that flag? This country's going this way, away from all that. You know what I mean? Big government is how we run things. Like, I don't know about you guys, but every so often I hear about some new government, like some government bureaucracy I didn't even know existed. Like the other day I heard about, it's like, I can't remember what it is. It was like the Department of, God, I can't remember what the fuck it was, but it was like the U.S. Department of something or other. I'm like, we have a department for that too? I didn't even fucking know that, you know? We have all these, like, housing and urban development and all these goddamn, like, the Department of Education and all these fucking departments. It was like the U.S. Department of, like, Art and Creative Skills or Creative Science or some weird shit like that. Like, we're paying government people, bureaucrats to regulate this shit? It's ridiculous. You know, there's all these bureaucracies you didn't even know existed, just running around out there, just sucking up tax dollars. You know, just creating laws, just writing more fucking regulations and shit. That's the only direction we're going in, man. That's the, you know, you ever find a guy who's into small government, like a guy like Ben Shapiro? Like Ben Shapiro's even said that because people want him to run in 2020. He'll never get elected because he said if he gets elected, he would actively work to make the role of government smaller and to actually narrow the scope of like the executive office and shit like that. And ain't nobody gonna elect a guy who wants to do that. Republicans want the people they elect to have more power. Democrats want the same thing. We don't want to elect a guy, put a guy up. Okay, go to Washington D.C. for us, and then reduce your power. Nobody wants that. Libertarians want that. Some Republicans say they want that, but I don't think that's actually what Republicans want. You know, I don't think small government, in my opinion, is not really all that Republican. It's more libertarian. So, you know, I could be wrong. Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll have to do like a live stream just on like politics or something like that, because there's just way too much to talk about, to touch on, you know, right now. You know, I mean, this live stream's gone pretty long. We could go on for another hour talking about politics and the political spectrum and stuff like that. I wash my truck very seldom, by the way, because every time I wash it, 2 days later, it's fucking dirty again. It drives me crazy spending $60 on a truck wash, and then bam, my truck's dirty again. So I'll wash it at the terminal every once in a while. You know what I mean? It's only 20 bucks. You know, I find you go through a good rainstorm, it does a pretty good job of rinsing that bitch off. Do I think the North Korea war will ever happen? I don't know. I have a buddy that me and him, we talk about this all the fucking time. Like, will it happen? Could it happen? How likely it is? And what would it be like if it actually did happen? You know what I mean? I don't know. You know? What I think is, I think if North Korea was smart and if they really wanted to knock us down, all they'd have to do is trigger a large-scale EMP, knock out all our electronics and our power grid, and that's it. Lights out. You know, literally. That's all they'd have to do. If they could smuggle in an EMP, knock out the whole country, then they've won. Wouldn't have to fight any kind of real war. You know, and if you were smart about it, you wouldn't even know who the fuck did it. But will that happen? I don't know. Probably not, I guess, but it's definitely a possibility if you ask me. So here's the thing, man. Look, if we get hit by an EMP, if we don't know who the fuck did it, how are we going to know who to attack? We'll still, like, you launch an EMP against the U.S. and it knocks out all of our electronics, we'll still have subs and carriers, and we'll still have our military forces abroad that aren't affected, but who's going to be commanding them? No one's going to be able to give them the command to launch a nuke. There's going to be no fucking communication. That's what happens in an EMP. The phones, radio, vehicles, everything's done. It's gone. Everything with a microchip gets fried. So even our carriers and subs waiting for orders, they wouldn't know who to fucking launch against. They wouldn't be able to get authorization anyway. We wouldn't be able to talk to our fucking allies about who they should attack. So that's what I'm saying. If North Korea really wanted to win, smuggle in an EMP and, you know, you can knock out the whole country. That's what I think. You know, I'm with a lot of people that think it probably, if you could get the blessing of the rest of the world, like the UN, which you probably wouldn't get, if you could get enough of a blessing to just do a preemptive strike on North Korea, just blow the whole country away. The two things you got to worry about is, one, would North Korea or South Korea have to deal with fallout because they're an ally, and two, I think a lot of the people in North Korea are innocent. They don't want to be under Kim Jong-un, but they're under dictatorial rule. So you're killing off a lot of fucking people that have no choice. You know, you're killing a lot of innocents if you just bomb the whole fucking country. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure they do have contingency plans for that. That would make sense. You know, not to mention like Air Force One and the White House. From what I've heard, like what is it? NORAD is shielded against EMPs, and I think Air Force One is supposed to be shielded against EMPs and stuff like that. You know, there's military technology and stuff that where they're supposed to be shielded enough to where they can still operate if we get hit by an EMP. But we'll all be fucked. All of us regular people, if we get hit by an EMP, we're fucked. Utterly fucked, you know? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the UN either. Trump, I think, could change the ELDs because I don't know. I could be talking out of my ass, but I like to think that the FMCSA, as a federal organization, as an administration, is under the purview of the executive branch. Or maybe Congress. I don't know. Probably Congress. But if Trump made ELDs an issue, he could probably get it changed. You know? He's not going to, because he probably doesn't know anything about ELDs and probably doesn't give a fuck. You know? Here's your problem. Your problem ain't the FMCSA. Your problem is the ATA and organizations like that fucking lobby for regulations like the ELD mandate. That's your problem. Is the lobbyists. So, you know, no, he could change the ELD. He's not going to though. Not going to. Not enough. You know, not enough people care about it, in my opinion. Not enough regular people. Really, only truckers give a fuck about it, if you ask me. Obama didn't think it through when he signed what bill? What, the fucking ACA? I think he knew exactly what he was doing. Well, I think for the most part, I think when Obama signed the ACA into law, I think his advisors probably told him this could potentially fuck over a lot of middle-class people, and he said, I don't fucking care. All I care about is people without medical insurance getting medical insurance. And I think he just didn't give a shit. He doesn't care about middle class. He didn't care about the upper middle class, upper class. He didn't give a shit about that. Obama was only for the lower class. So I think he knew exactly what he was doing. KS trucking? No. The answer is no. We get hit by an EMP. Yeah, I like this subject. I've read a lot of books about it. I find it fascinating. A lot of the ebooks that I listen to while I'm driving are about like EMP scenarios and stuff like that. But there's actually been studies done by the government, and some of you guys may know about this, where they try to figure out what may happen if we did get hit by an EMP and stuff like that. And the estimate is that if the entire country was struck by an EMP from coast to coast, 90% of our population of this country would die off from crime, like murder and stuff like that, disease, starvation for the most part, because without interstate trucking and our technology, we can't feed 350 million people, especially, you know, that 50% of the country's population lives in big cities. So yeah, no. There would be if we got hit by an EMP within a couple of years, there'd be hardly any people left, and then I don't see how you could rebuild. I mean, very, very slowly. I don't know, but no, probably not. It would be very, very bad. Landscape? What do you mean landscape? Oh, it's I'm on Eastern time, so it's 9:40 here. Fucking, I hate being on Eastern time. I hate jumping back and forth between Eastern and Central. It's so annoying. That's right, KS. That's what I believe. Second Amendment, baby. That's all I'm saying. It would be back to the Wild West days. It really fucking would. We'd be pioneers again. You know, we'd start over from scratch. You know, here's the thing. Look, if you hit this country with an EMP and it took our country down, instantly we have no more economy anymore. So the rest of the world economy would fall, would crash, because the rest of the world depends on our economy to thrive. So it's not like we'd get help from anybody, because their economies would crash. It would fuck up a whole lot. The self-driving trucks. I would think that if a self-driving truck failed, it would just stop on its own. I would hope. I don't know. We're gonna see one of these days. I've made videos about how I feel about those fucking things. Good on you, Ricardo. Keep fighting the good fight, man. Look, the key is just don't tell a whole lot of people, man. Or you know what? Shout it from the rooftops if you're proud of it. You know what I mean? One of my best friends is Mexican. Like, both of my best friends are Mexican. One of them doesn't really care about politics, but the one that does care about politics loves Trump, and so does his family. Huge Trump supporters. They love him. Maybe not his sister, but you know, the rest of them do. So Brian, you use the app, the ELD app. Was it Keep Trucking? So you don't have to have it hardwired to the truck then to qualify for the ELD mandate. That's something I was wondering about. You could just use Keep Trucking and you're compliant, right? That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. You know. I don't think I've read anything about the Tesla truck, man. I've read about the Mercedes-Benz one that they have, and I think there's a couple other companies. I think the Tesla truck is the one that's like that weird-looking concept truck that kind of looks like a fucking torpedo or something like that. Fuck out of here. I think Tesla's getting a little ahead of themselves on that whole thing. It's like I said, man. I don't know if they're gonna be able to get this whole Tesla or the whole self-driving truck thing off the ground. You know what I mean? It's 500 miles on a full charge. Electric truck. Those are some big fucking batteries. You know what? I could see an electric truck being useful for like local shit. You know how we have local trucks that like run on natural gas and stuff like that. You know, those are fine. But they work for like local trucks because they don't go all that far. And I think they have over-the-road trucks that run CNG as well, but I don't think they can go all that far. You know, I don't know a whole lot about CNG. But I know one thing about natural gas trucks is that after like 200,000 miles, you can take the head off of the engine and it looks like it's never been driven before. Like or you can take the valve covers off and it's clean. It's like immaculate because they run so fucking clean. But I don't know how much it costs or any of that. My shit runs on diesel, bro. Don't truckers have hard times finding a wife? I don't know, man. I'm not looking for I don't know. I couldn't tell you. You know, I think a lot of the guys that come out here already have girlfriends or already have wives. You know, but I don't see it being all that hard because a lot of truckers usually have a lot of fucking money in their bank account or in their wallet. You know, a couple months ago I went home. I had $2,700 just to blow, just to use at the house. I can spend on whatever the fuck I want. You know, so probably not. You know, you can flash that cash and you know find a chick. But, you know, then you found a chick who expects that money, and if shit don't work out, you're not making that money anymore, you know, she may not be around no more. I don't know. I don't ever want to get married. You know, I find me a girlfriend, but, you know, I'd like to never get married if I can, you know. Bluetooth connects to the mechanics 90 speed pass. Okay, so it is connected to the truck. Okay. So I guess you can't run more than one at the same time, I guess, unless you unplugged one and plugged the other in, maybe to the port. I don't know. I was wondering that. That sucks, man. Sucks for you paper log guys, man. No, I don't own the truck. I'm leasing this truck, leasing it from the carrier, and I'm not gonna buy it. I'll give it back when I'm done with it. And I go home every 2 to 3 months, just depending. Well, yeah, I mean, I could answer that question. When he takes it to the shop, he just unplugs it. Like, you know, you just go into off duty and you just take it out. Like, for instance, when my truck goes into to the shop, I log out of my computer, and it will log that time as, you know, truck was driven and not logged into. But, you know, I could just, if I get audited, I'll just say, hey, I was in the fucking shop. You're supposed to log out of your ELD when you go into the shop, so that if they test drive your truck, it's not ticking off hours. You know what I mean? You're allowed to do that. So, you know, that's the same shit I do. I turn my computer off when I go into the shop. No, I walk my dog with a leash always. Always. If my dog was off the leash, I may never see her again, because she loves to run and explore, and she don't want to come back to me. I've thought about getting a little GPS chip for her, just in case she does get away, you know, because she will be gone. You know, I'd be searching for her with a flashlight all night. So I walk her on a retractable leash. I wish I could walk her without a leash, but not this dog. Yeah, there is an alert. If you're logged out of ELDs for the truck and the truck gets driven, like further than a certain amount, it will log it as you were logged out and the truck was driven. But all you gotta do is say, hey, look, you know, the truck was in the shop. You know, it's not a big deal. So that way you can't beat the system. You can't log out and drive 200 miles and say, oh, I was in the shop. Can't do that. You won't get away with it. Okay, that makes some sense. Any of you guys on paper logs currently, or I guess you would have to have switched by now, but any of you guys, were any of you guys running paper logs and now because of the mandate had to switch over? Because I didn't have to switch. I've always been on e-logs, you know, but I still hear guys bitching about it. Man, all them e-loggers out there, man, they just, you know how an e-logger drives? An e-logger, okay, they drive for 4 hours, see, and then they stop and take the 30-minute break, and then they drive for another 6 hours, and then they go in a sleeper berth, and that's it. Like, I'm like, yeah, well, fucking, so will you once the mandate goes through, homie. Driving that 18 hours of shit. Damn, you've been out since September? I went home in September. I took Thanksgiving off. I took it off with visited my dad in Memphis. We went to go see a University of Tennessee game in Knoxville, which we got our fucking ass kicked, by the way. But I take off Thanksgiving and Christmas, you know. But usually, you know, after I go back after Christmas, I'll take another 3 months off or something like that. I'll be out for a while. I still got a little bit of debt to pay off. I gotta knock that out. Yeah, see, safety departments at mega carriers, they can edit logs, you know, but you gotta understand that they're not going to. These safety departments, they're not going to, like, edit your logs so that they're illegal, to let you get away with doing illegal shit. You know, they'll edit your logs to make them legal. You know, if you call up your safety department and say, yeah, I was driving a little too long, could you go ahead and edit that? But they're going to say, no, we can't do that, you know. They say that their whole reason for existing is to make sure that everybody's compliant, so it don't really work that way. On my old Qualcomm, I could edit my own logs. Not drive time, but I could edit everything else. At this company, you can't edit shit. I gotta call the company for fucking everything. I forget to log off a post-trip, but, you know, I gotta call the company, have them fix it. Yeah, you know, I got them to edit at this company. I got them to edit my drive time one time, but the only reason they agreed to do it was because I was actually on personal conveyance. Like I was bobtailing going to the grocery store on a weekend, and I was logged as personal conveyance, which doesn't count against me because I was using the truck for personal use. The computer shut down and then rebooted itself and then put me on the drive line, which fucked up my 34-hour reset. So when I called in and I told them what happened, they said, I don't know if we can fix that. They had to run it up the flagpole, and they came back and they said, okay, we can change it, you know, but, you know, they don't like doing it, they don't want to do it, and they, you know, they probably won't do it. And that's only because I was on personal conveyance, and that's it. They do not like doing that shit. You know, there's times that you call in and ask them to edit your drive hours, they'll probably just tell you they can't do it, you know. Yeah, that's the problem with Flatbed, man. You know, tarping and securing loads. The key to it is just, look, you gotta go fucking fast. Tarp and secure as fast as you fucking can. I've gotten to the point where I've done so many loads, I know exactly how to do everything, and I know how many straps, how many chains, how many tarps, how I'm gonna tarp it, and I just do it. I don't have to figure out shit. So usually, like, I'm showing up after guys and leaving before them at a lot of the places I go to, because I'm like, oh yeah, okay, lumber load, so I'm gonna need 10 straps, both lumber tarps. Okay, throw those up there, drop them like this, fold it, bungee, strap, tighten, you know, I'm out the fucking door. I don't need to figure out shit, you know. So that's the key. You just got to get really fucking fast, you know. I remember the days when it would take me 3 hours to tarp a load that was real difficult. Now I'm Speedy Gonzalez with that shit, you know. I never thought about that. Yeah, you motherfuckers do sound really... Dudes on the CB sound like they're from, like, the backwoods of, like, you know, central Alabama and shit like that. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just a real big southern thing. I don't know. That's what it sounds like when you hear these guys. Especially when they got the turned up radios with their fucking twangy echoes and shit, which drives me crazy. Hey, if you got a CB radio with the echo on it, it's not cool. It's annoying. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have spent money on it. It's annoying as fuck. I'm just putting it out there. It drives me crazy. Some of these guys, the echo's so bad I can't understand what the fuck they're saying when they're on the radio. Heaviest load I ever hauled? What was it? 59,000 pound aluminum ingot. 59,000 pounds. Western hauls them all the fucking time with overweight permits. Just a big solid block of aluminum. Freight pirates? Shit, I didn't even think about that. Freight pirates. That is pretty gnarly. How are you gonna keep people from breaking into the van trailers if no one's driving the truck, if no one watching the load? I guess you could put big fucking locks on them, I guess. Have to lock all them loads, though. I like Flatbed, man. There's times when I wish I would. I delivered 2 loads this week in the fucking pouring rain, and I had to fold up tarps on both of them in the pouring ass rain. I got soaking wet both times. Times like that, I'm like, God, you know, maybe it would be nice to haul curtain side or something else, you know, but then I'm like, fuck, then if I did that, I wouldn't make as much money. So, you know, you just got to take the good with the bad, man. Sometimes you're going to get fucking soaking wet. A lot of tarping in the wintertime. Yard movement. I don't know, Brian. Look, I'm telling you, if you use that yard movement and you get caught, it's a clear violation if the officers knows what they're looking for, because it's all about locations. If you stop here, go off duty, in Nashville, and then you have yard movement, and then he shows you going to the sleeper berth in Murfreesboro, cop's gonna see that, and if they know what they're looking for, they'll get you for it. So I'd be careful with that, man. That's all I'm saying. Oh, dude, you're telling me. This load tomorrow, all 3 steel tarps I'm gonna have to untarp in the snow and the ice. I know it's supposed to snow its ass off tomorrow morning, so that's gonna. I'd rather have it snow than rain, though. I can handle snow. I'd haul Conestoga. I would haul the shit out of Conestoga, but we have like 2 or 3 of them, and I don't get to haul them. I don't know who the fuck does haul them, but it ain't me. It'd be nice to haul a Conestoga. I'd haul the shit out of them. I really would. I'd haul them as much as I'd haul one all the fucking time. But a couple of the Conestogas we have in this company they're for dedicated. I think that's all they are. I think all our Conestogas are for a dedicated account. Oh, okay, well, you're good to go, Brian. Never mind. Disregard everything I said. What's up, Saul? Yeah, no shit. Must be nice. See, that's what I'm saying. All you need, like Brian was saying, all you need is like that 15 or 20 minute flexibility at the end of the day. If you just had like an extra 30 minutes for emergency purposes, I don't know. If we just had a little bit of flexibility, that's the biggest problem with e-logs, is you have no flexibility. If you're 5 seconds over on your 14-hour or your drive, you're in violation. Where on paper logs, even if you're not cheating on paper logs, you can still go 5 minutes over and it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? Now, I'll be honest with you, don't quote me on this, but I don't personally think that the FMCSA or DOT, maybe the FMCSA if they do a carrier audit, which is different, but if a DOT officer checks your logs, I don't think they care about going over like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. I don't think they care. I'm pretty sure I've been inspected before with like being over like 8 minutes or something like that, and they don't even mention it. They just overlook it, I don't think they care. I think they care on e-logs if you're going over like an hour or 2. Of course, don't quote me on that, and safety department ain't ever gonna say that. No, you can't go 5 minutes over. You can't go 5 seconds over. There is no leeway. So, don't go over 5 minutes and then get a ticket and then come back and tell me that I'm the reason you got a ticket. Reasonable hours of service, Canadian hours, 16-hour drive clock, 13-hour drive clock, 16-hour day clock. Eliminate the 30-minute break. That would be reasonable to me. After that, I'm good. You give me 13-hour drive shift and a 16-hour duty clock for the day and eliminate the 30-minute break. I'm good. That's all I want. I'd be happy with that. I would be perfectly happy with that. Because the way I look at it, if you got 13 hours to drive and you've got 16 hours in the day or whatever, you've got plenty of time. You're good. You've got plenty of time. Or if you were able to pause the 14-hour clock for like 2 hours, say if you wanted to take a nap, or you got stuck at a ship or receiver and you wanted to pause that 14-hour clock and extend it to 16 hours, that would be really nice as well. I think that's a big problem too. Yeah, luckily I've had my ELD go out before, but luckily it came back before I had to switch to paper. Thank God. Like the very first, if you go way back to the beginning, when I first started this channel, when my videos were like in the dark and you could barely see me, when I was talking about starting at Western, The very first truck I got, which is a recovery truck that I got from Kansas City, the fucking Qualcomm didn't even work in it. Like, I think the guy who abandoned the truck or gave up the truck, he pulled the fuse on it, and so he could drive without logs or something like that, or drive on paper. I don't know what the fuck, but it didn't even work. So I actually ended up fixing it before I had to get on paper logs, because I really didn't want to start using paper log. I just didn't want to do it. Fuck that. I don't want to do it. If your clock runs out in traffic, you get a violation, Holmes. Simple as that. You know, on this type of computer, this software, it'll put a yellow bar at the bottom that says, you are out of drive, stop driving, you are out of drive time, you are in violation, blah, 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 and shit. The numbers will go red and all that shit, and you're in violation. It happens, you know. I have personally, and I've said this before in other videos, personally, the way I think is if you are on e-logs, you will at some point get a violation. It's fucking unavoidable, because there's too many factors that you cannot control and you can't know about that happen, that you are going to pick up a violation at some point. Safety department does not share this sentiment. They do not agree with it. The way they see it, if you play your cards right, you will never ever get an ELD violation. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Can't you do safe haven? What do you mean do safe haven? I mean, you can go off duty in traffic, but if your clock runs out, you're out. You know, you just really you just got to get to the nearest place you can park safely. You know, it is what it is. I am a safe haven. That's what paper log guys are always asking. What happens if you run out of hours in traffic? Well, you get a violation. And you tell the safety department, they're just going to say, well, you should have accounted for that traffic. You know, you shouldn't have pushed the clock that far. You should have stopped earlier. You know, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't. Personal conveyance, which is off-duty driving. Yeah, I mean that's if you're stuck in traffic, you run out of time, and you straight go to personal conveyance. That's like super illegal. It's super violation. Like running on personal conveyance with a load, it's like grounds for termination. It's like a really big fucking no-no. It's the same as disabling logging out of your computer or disabling your computer so you can drive further. It's grounds for termination. It's a really big fucking no-no. You know, to use off-duty driving when you got a load on. It's bad news. You can't even haul the fucking trailer. You have to be bobtailing, or I think it's illegal if you're not bobtailing and all that. You have to be unladen. I have had people knock on my door when I was sleeping, but it was someone telling me that I had to move my truck or something like that. You know, it's never been Panhandler or something like that. I fucking hate being woken up more than anything in the entire world. You know, you could be a super hot girl wearing panties and a bra, you know, in bed with me. If you fucking wake me up in the middle of the night, I'm fucking pissed off at you. You know what I mean? You could try to wake me up with a blowjob. I ain't fucking having it. You know what I mean? I don't like being woken up in the middle of the night. It drives me absolutely crazy. I hate being woke. I hate waking up in the fucking morning, let alone in the middle of the night. Now, it's not line 5. It's line 1 off duty with a driving notation, I believe. I think that's what it is. It's not a 5th line. That's what I say, next gen. Look, I do everything in my power to avoid getting a violation, but there are times when it's going to happen. There are times where there's a highway. I can't remember what interstate it is. Some of you guys may know. It's like down near West Virginia and South Carolina, or you know, that East Tennessee area near the Carolinas, there's a highway that goes through the mountains where for like an hour and a half, there's nowhere to stop. No truck stops, no gas stations, no rest areas, no nothing going through the mountains. And if you misjudge that and like it takes you longer to get over those mountains to the other side where all the truck stops are and shit, you're getting a violation. And there's nowhere you can stop. Nowhere. There's nothing up there. So that would be an example. And you know, of course they could say, oh, you should have planned ahead. Yeah, it might be I-77. I think it might be. It's a real jagged fucking road that goes over the mountains. I think it goes into South Carolina, I think. But that's an example. It's a parking dead zone for like 1.5, maybe 2 hours, depending. So if you say you're gonna climb that mountain with 3 hours on the clock, you're thinking, I'm good. It's only an hour and a half, but you know, you get to the top, there's a fucking accident, or the weather gets really bad up at the top of the mountains and stuff like that. You may run over. I've had it happen on that highway before. I went over like 20 minutes because it took me longer to get over the mountains than I thought it would. You know. I stock up on food and I keep them in this fridge right here. It's actually a new fridge I got not too long ago because my other one burned out. I buy groceries every week. I try to avoid eating at the truck stops, but I do still, because I like to eat real food from time to time, something that was cooked and tastes really good, and I can't do that because I don't have a kitchen. So yeah, I still do eat at truck stops. I try not to though. I live on the northwest side. I live up 290, Highway 290, in like not Copperfield, but you know, I live up 290, outside the Beltway. Yeah, Saul, don't do that. I wouldn't do that if I were you, because here's the problem. You run out of drive hours, and you pull onto the shoulder and pull out the triangles and all that shit. You're likely, depending on where you are, to have a state patrol or a local cop stop and get out and find out, you know, what the deal is. They may want to sit behind you until road service or a wrecker shows up, and if they knock on your fucking door and you're laying in the sleeper, you may have to come up with a lie, and they're going to say, hey, what's the problem? Why are you parked here on the shoulder? You know what I mean? For instance, in Texas, if you park on the side of a freeway in Texas, we have what's called the steer it, clear it law. So where if any vehicle is stopped on a shoulder lane of a freeway, it has to be removed immediately or the state will tow it. Either you get it fixed and off the side of the highway, or you get your own tow truck, or the state is going to tow it, because they don't want it. We're not like other states where we'll let a car sit on the shoulder for 2.5 weeks. It's just too much of a hazard. So because of the steer it, clear it law, you park in Texas on the side of the highway, as soon as the cop sees you, they're going to be calling in. Or if a tow truck sees you, they can stop and they can pull you off the side of the road. But I wouldn't do that. I've thought about that. I've thought about pretending I was broken down on the side of the highway. One, it's kind of dangerous because someone could fucking hit you. And in this company, I think if you stop on a roadway without being broken, if it's not an emergency, I think it's grounds for termination because it's so much of a hazard. But I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Me too, KS. Trucker Path is what I use. Trucker Path is the shit, if you ask me. It's awesome. It's not always accurate, but it's accurate enough, you know? See, that's the thing, overtaxed, man. Like a lot of, like, these places where you get woken up and they're like, hey, you can't park here. And it's like, I legally can't drive, you know? It's like, at certain places, like, you know what, if you're going to give me a parking ticket, just give me the parking ticket, you know, because I can't drive. It's the law. Sir, it's the law. I'd be breaking the law if I moved. You know what I mean? So, but, you know, look, if you're parked somewhere that says no trucks or no overnight, you know, technically, I mean, you could get towed. I don't know. But if you park somewhere that doesn't have, it's not posted, no parking or no trucks or no overnight parking, technically you can park there because it's not posted, you know? But that's why I don't park at Walmart's, because I don't like being woken up in the middle of the night, and you always run that risk doing that shit at, like, Walmart's and stuff. It's getting woken up at 3 in the morning, getting told to move. That's why I don't ever do that. Be honest with you, one place you could park and as a flatbed and no one would probably ever fuck with you is any home improvement store, any hardware store. Because they're always getting there's always flatbedders delivering loads in the morning. That's why I love home improvement, or Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards loads. I love those because you can drive there and sleep right in the parking lot and deliver in the morning. So honestly, you're better off finding a hardware store and parking in their parking lot than a Walmart, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? It depends on if you're depends on. Look, man, like how I was saying, you don't want to park on the shoulder. It depends. For instance, if it's on the shoulder, like near a rest area, that's different. You can get away with that. I don't like doing it because there's so much road noise. You know, it's hard to sleep. But yeah, you can get away with it at a rest area or something like that. And there's highways like, I think I-287 in New York, like the bypass around New York City. There's like nowhere to fucking park. There's like one pilot in wherever the hell it is up there, and there's like 10 spots. So there's actually a big ass shoulder along that highway where a lot of guys will pull off and take their 10 hours there, and I don't ever see those guys get fucked with. So it depends on where you are, to be honest with you. You know, like way out west in the desert, I see a lot of guys that will pull off the highway just into the desert and sleep near the highway. You know, and really, it's like, who's going to tell them they can? It's not like they're fucking up the grass, right? Yeah, I think it's the same with this company. You get automatic termination if it's not an emergency and you stop on a highway. You know, that, making a U-turn on a highway, stuff like that, automatic termination. See, what I hate, Roy, I hate when anybody pulls off on the side of the highway just for when it's not an emergency. I find four-wheelers are worse than truckers are. You know, like lately, I've been seeing all kinds of four-wheelers parking on. I hate it when you see a four-wheeler park on the shoulder when you're doing like cars, you're doing 70, 75 past them, and they're just getting something out of their trunk. It's like, go down to the nearest fucking exit and then get off and then get the fucking thing out of your trunk. There's people speeding by you at 75, 80 miles an hour, 3 feet away, just so you could grab a goddamn jacket out of your trunk? You know what I'm saying? You're taking your fucking lives in your hands just so you grab something out of the back seat real quick. I don't fucking understand that. It's the dumbest thing I've ever stupid. Yeah. Yeah, that big ass shoulder up there. Which I think that KS, I think it's because there's not a lot of parking up there. You know, there's not a lot of parking in New York, so they get it. You know, like when you go down 95 through New York City, like just north of like the George Washington Bridge. I can't remember where it is. It's up like the Yonkers area, I think it is. There's all those apartment buildings. There's a lot of truckers that will pull off onto those little frontage roads on the sides of 95, and you can park on the street there and, you know, go to the grocery store so you can take a 10-hour break. I think that's I see a lot of guys do that. I've never done it, but I see that happen all the time. Are you fucking serious? Schneider will have you towed to a truck stop if you run out of hours? You know how expensive it is to have a truck towed? They can't, I think that can't be a normal thing. There's no way that could be a normal thing. It's super expensive to have a truck towed. It's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Unless they're making the driver pay for it, then I understand. But yeah, getting winched out of a ditch is not that bad. But actually having a guy having to hook up and then tow your truck, buku fucking dollars, dude. Really expensive. I can't believe that shit. Have I ever wrecked a personal vehicle as a professional driver? I've gotten into accidents before. I've never wrecked a car. Like, I've never totaled a car. Wait, do you mean in a truck? Oh, personal vehicle. No, I've gotten into minor accidents before I got years before I got my CDL. I got into a couple little minor a side swipe, and then someone hit me in a parking lot, but they said it was my fault. But just little stuff like that. I've never been in any really serious accident. I can't believe that. You run out of hours, they just tow your truck. That's kind of fucking awesome. I mean, no, not, man, maybe not. Because look, if you run out of hours, you're like, oh, call the tow truck, I'm out of hours. Then you gotta wait. Then you're on the side of the highway. You can't take a shower. You can't go to the bathroom. You gotta wait for the tow truck to show up, and then back up to you, hook up, and all this bullshit, and then get towed, and it's a big thing. By the time you get to the truck stop, you're like 4 hours already into your 10-hour break, you know? I don't know. Screw all that. Sounds like a big fucking hassle. You know what I mean? I don't think Schneider and Swift just merged. I don't think so. I don't know. I could be out of the loop. I don't think so though. If Schneider and Swift merge, it would be Swift buying Schneider, but I don't. Schneider and Swift have been around for so fucking long, I don't see them merging. You know, I could see them buying up smaller companies, but I don't see two big companies like that merging like that. I don't know. Could be wrong. God's watching. So, did I do something wrong? Did I sin? Am I going to be in trouble now? Entertainment in my off time? Xbox One. I play a lot of fucking Xbox One. I get online and I play online with my buddy. That's what I was doing right before this stream. I actually was playing Payday 2 with my buddy back in Texas. And then I got off so that I can do this fucking stream. But, saying because you haven't had a major accident. I hope not. I hope I don't have a major accident. But no, I play. I don't have a lot of free time. But, like, look, days like Sundays when I'm usually off, I'll play Xbox One. And, or I'll watch what football I can watch with I got an antenna for the little antenna that sticks in the window so I can watch local channels. And also, I like to rent movies off the internet, and I'll watch movies and shit. That's pretty much it. That, and I'm a YouTube junkie. Like, during the week, like, on 10-hour breaks and stuff like that, when I don't have a lot of time to, like, sit and watch a movie or actually put in a game, I'll watch videos on YouTube, you know, to kill a little bit of time before I go to bed and all that shit. No, man, I'm going home for Christmas, man. Fuck staying out. I think I'm going to take a week and a half. I think I might go home for Christmas and not come back till after the New Year. Yeah, I think I might take a whole week and a half off this time, you know? Because they've already told me, they said, look, dude, as soon as Christmas weekend, all the way till after New Year's, freight's going to suck. Just telling you right now, you know? And he's right, it's going to suck, you know? So I'll probably just stay home for a week and a half and just relax. Take a real vacation. And then I'll go back out for 3 to 4 months. Stay out for a long time. And just stack bread as much as I can. Pay off. I've only got a couple debts left to pay off, and then I'm free. Credit will be fixed. Yeah, look, man, just park on the curb. That's what everybody else does. Look, sometimes you just gotta get creative, dude. You gotta just. Sometimes you will have to just make a spot. You know what I mean? I used to do it all the time with Western Express. When I don't know why, but when I was driving for Western, like 3 to 4 nights a week, I was parking in some weird fucking place just to find a spot to stop. I don't know why. What am I vaping on? You mean the juice? You mean the this is a Smock Tank TF V12, which is all right. This is an iJoy Captain, which is all right. I like it, but you know, it's not cream of the crop or anything. And this is a strawberry lemon e-juice, and it's the shit, and it's my favorite, and I love it. And I buy it from when I go to the Gary terminal. There's a vape shop that sells it, and I'll go through there and get a couple more bottles. I love the strawberry lemon's the best shit ever. Someone asked how the no smoking is going. Obviously, it's going pretty good. I haven't had a cigarette in about a month, I think it's been. Haven't had a cigarette. Not one. I wanted to. I sat here earlier today and I looked at the pilot and I was like, fuck, I could just go in there right now and get a pack of cigarettes. Just, you know, just smoke one. Just smoke one. But, yeah, I can't do that, man. That's right, Roy. Western does put you on some, they do run you on some fucked up routes. That's why I would just not take them. After a while, I just did my own thing, and they didn't say shit to me. I just took whatever route I wanted. That is very fucking true. Older videos, I used to bitch about that too. Oh yeah, see, I usually avoid small truck stops because I just don't want to deal with the clusterfuck. See, you got a 32-inch flat screen in your truck, man. I tried a 32-inch. It was too big, and like the vibrations didn't. It broke off the fucking base. This right here is a 24-inch. You know, and it's actually the 32 broke, and then I had a Samsung in here, and the Samsung, it broke off its fucking base from vibrations. This Sanyo, don't have any problems with it whatsoever. I can drive over, you know, pothole-riddled shippers and receivers and parking lots. Nothing ever happens, no matter the vibrations from that TV. And that's what I do. I like my Sanyo. It's like only $100 in Walmart too. It's cheap as fuck. By the way, anybody who's wants to get a TV, especially like any rookies who don't know, if you want to get a TV for your truck, don't ever buy a TV from a truck stop. Get one from Walmart. This is 24-inch. I got it for $100 at Walmart. You go in the truck stop, it's like you get a 19-inch. It's like $250, $300, some shit. Just in case anybody listening didn't know, don't buy those truck stop TVs. Motherfucker, they're expensive. Yeah, see, I wish I could mount mine on the fucking wall, but if I drill holes and I give the truck back, then, you know, I'll have to replace the cabinet. I don't want to do all that. Home time for a company driver is you can only go home for as long as they want you to. They'll let you go home. Like, you have to, like, collect. The longer you stay out, the more time you could take off. But when you go home, it's like you're scot-free. You don't have to worry about overhead. Like, when I go home, I still got overhead coming out. So, leasing, you can go home whenever the fuck you want for as long as you want, but you have to have the money in the bank for it. You got to plan ahead for it. So if you don't have enough, there's times where, like, it's like, oh, I wish I could go home, but I don't have. There's times where you don't have enough money to go home. You could have $1,000 in your checking account that you don't have enough money to go home. If you take a week off, that's a week without revenue. That's a week where your truck payments are coming in, and then you've got to have money to pay your bills with the lost revenue and the money you spend while you're at home. You need more than $1,000 really. So I go home whenever I want for as long as I want. I tell them, yep, I want to be home this time, and I'll be taking a week and a half off, and I'll come back this time. And they'll say, okay, we'll make it happen. In the financial side, that's all on me. So that's the difference. Company driver, they don't want you going home, you know. And some companies will try to make it so that you don't go home. This company doesn't do that shit, though. They'll let you go, and they'll get you home when you want to be home. Yeah, that's what I liked about Western, Roy. You know, that was my favorite thing about Western, is they just leave you the fuck alone. No, I don't cook. I don't even have a microwave in here because I don't have anywhere to put one. I eat cold stuff. Like, I'll eat cold soup and stuff like that. I don't even need it heated up. Like, if I'm sleeping at a receiver to deliver the next day, or I sleep in a rest area, I just eat straight cold pasta. You know, I don't mind eating it cold soup and shit. It doesn't bother me. You know, I eat sandwiches for lunch. I eat cereal a lot for breakfast and stuff like that. This is what people keep telling me: get a slow cooker or get all these different, like, appliances you plug into cigarette lighters to, like, cook stuff. You know, I haven't done it just because I don't have any room for anything else in this truck, and I just have never gotten around to doing it. You know, I've always said, maybe I'll get like a cooker that I can cook hot dogs and hamburgers on, and make hot dogs and hamburgers or chicken or something like that. I've just never gotten around to doing it, Just because I'm always like, I don't know where the fuck I'd put anything. Every square inch of this cab has something in it. Like, I had to get very creative to get everything to fucking fit in here. Yeah, when I was company here, I never had a problem going home. I was awesome. At Western, I would stay out for like 2-3 months, and then I'd want to take off like 3 days, and they wouldn't even let me take 3 days off. After 2 days, they were like telling me to get back in the truck. That drove me fucking crazy. And I would straight, yeah, well, you need to get back in the truck tomorrow. I got a load for it. I'm like, dude, I delivered Friday. It's Sunday. I just wanted 3 days off. Oh, well, I mean, Friday technically is a day off. I'm like, no, it's fucking not, dude. I'm like, bro, I stayed out 2.5 months for you. You know, and I just want my fucking 3 days. And they were always giving me bullshit. Like, rail doesn't do that. Rail, like, you earn 1 day off for every week out. I'd stay out for 6 weeks. I'd take 6 days off. There's never a problem. Always got me home the day I wanted to be home or the day before. Never complained about how long I was home. It was awesome. I drive for rail transport. You know, there's no bullshit. No bitching and whining about how long you're going to be home. They're just like, okay, yeah, let me check and make sure. Okay, yeah, you got 6 days off? Okay, well, enjoy your home time, man. We'll get you home, blah, blah, blah. It's fucking awesome. Where would rail send you for CDL training if you live in PA? Rail doesn't have a terminal in PA, as far as I know. It's just a drop yard, I think. You probably end up coming to Gary. Rail would probably bring you to Gary to get CDL training. I think. You'd have to ask a recruiter, though, because I'm not 100% positive. Probably be in Gary. Oh, battery died. I gotta switch to my other one. Man, this live stream's run so long, but I'm having so much fun doing it. This one's not as good. I think the coil's going out on this one. It's starting to taste a little burnt, if you know what I mean. I almost want to drive for Melton back when I was at Western, but they don't have a lease program, and they have 53-foot trailers and drive cams, and fuck all that. You know what I mean? I don't like no 53-foot trailers, and they didn't have a lease program. But Melton was one of, if I hadn't gone lease, I might have gone Melton. You know, from what I've heard, they're an awesome company. I pulled some curtain sides back when I was company. When you go percentage flatbed, you can't haul anything but flatbed. You know, they won't let you haul reefer, curtain side, van. None of that shit. Not when you're percentage. Only if you're mileage. Which gets annoying sometimes when they're having trouble finding a load, or, you know, something like that. You know, or they're trying to get you home and they're having difficulty finding a load to get you there. You know, or stuff like that. It'd be nice if I could haul something curtain side, but they won't let you do it if you're percentage. And you can't swap loads with other drivers. It's just, it fucks everything. It like throws a wrench in the whole works at payroll if you do something like that, because they don't know how to pay you and pay the other driver, and they won't do it, you know. So, but yeah, I did pull some curtain sides. I liked pulling curtain sides. It's a nice little change of pace, you know. It's like, oh, curtain side load, sweet. Ain't got to worry about tarping this one, you know. Of course, you get paid curtain side, you know, curtain side pay per mile. Yeah, I'm flatbed. I have two fleet managers. They call them business partners, but they're two. All they do is lease, flatbed lease. So that's all they do. I don't know if they may do curtain side, but I think they just do flatbed. There's two of them, and they do like 7 days on, 7 days off, or something like that. So for a week you'll have one, and for another week you'll have another. And they only do lease flatbed. You know, that's all they do, which is good. I need to change the coil in this one. Good for you, man. You should, man. Everybody I run into when they ask me about leasing, especially if they drive here, I said, do it. If you do it in 6 months, you're gonna wish you had done it, you know, 4 months prior. You're gonna be just like me, saying, "Damn, I should have done this sooner." You know what I mean? I love leasing so far. They do have curtain side lease, but it's mileage pay only. Van, reefer, and curtain side are sliding scale mileage, and they have different rates for different divisions and stuff like that. And flatbed has mileage too, but the only division that has a percentage option is flatbed. But yeah, they have curtain side lease for sure. Would I ever run my own authority? Right now, probably not. I mean, 10 years from now, I may be singing a different tune. But look, even if I go home and go local and I go and buy a truck and start at least onto a local carrier or something like that, you know, I don't know, I don't really have the inclination, not at this moment, to go get my own authority. Like, I'll revisit that shit maybe in 5-10 years after I bought a truck. You know, if I buy a truck and then I buy a second truck, buy a third truck, and I've got a small fleet leased onto another carrier's authority, then I'll revisit that and think about getting my own authority, because it's a lot of fucking work and a lot of bullshit and all that stuff. So at this point, it's not something that's appealing at this point. But any tips for starting lease? I don't know. You go back and watch some of the videos I've made about leasing, at least from this company, but like when I'm talking about leasing. But my biggest tip: the agreements, the contracts that you get the contracts emailed to you, and read the entire contract. At this company, I got 2 agreements. Like any company should be 2 agreements: owner-operator agreement and the equipment lease agreement. Get them emailed to you before you lease and read them start to finish. I sat down for like 4 hours and just on my laptop and just read through this fucking contract, page after page after page. But it's what you have to do when all these guys out there say they're getting fucked over by their leases. Dude, you should have read the fucking contract that you signed. I can't stand that. You're crying about how, oh, this company's scamming me and this lease is a scam. You signed the contract. You should have read that shit. They're only doing what you fucking agreed to, bro. So, I don't want to hear the crying. That's my biggest tip for starting lease. You know, any company, read your fucking agreement before you sign it. You know, that should be a given. That's the main reason I came here too. Is I was looking, you know, this company in ATS didn't take me, but Rail would, and it worked out. I think I'm better off here than I would be at ATS. You know, from what I've heard from some guys who've gone to ATS. But I like the shit out of this company. I like working here. I like their lease program. It's great. You know, I like their trucks. I like the money. An average week, you know, probably about $2,400 before you take out money for taxes. That's what you get in your settlement. That's after diesel has come out and your escrows, your truck payment, insurance, all that stuff. What you get to your checking account, in your settlement, $2,400 for an average week. Shitty week, $1,800 or less. Awesome week, $3,000 and up. I've had 3,000 plus weeks that were fucking awesome weeks. I think I had one, my best week ever was $3,600 week. But that was a really, really good week. You know, your average week is going to be in the mid 2000s before you take out for taxes. You know, so realistically, you're looking at, you know, if you put a quarter of that away for taxes, $1,800 cash in your pocket every week. That's average, but it does go up and down. You got freight rates and lanes and going home and stuff like that. You take time off, it throws a wrench in the whole works. You know what I mean? Contract's pretty straightforward, man. You know, I mean, yeah, there is legalese, there is legal speak in it and stuff like that, but it's nothing that's like would boggle your mind. You know, it's just like basic, you know, from this point forward, you know, the driver refers to the less. you see the word lessee and lesser 85 million fucking times, and that's all the contracts are, is what you can and can't do, and what the carrier, which is the lessee, no, the lessor, what they can and can't do. It's just all the fucking rules. It's really not all that. It's not really complicated. It's just really fucking time consuming. There's lots of arbitrary just shit that has to be in there to protect them and to protect you and all that stuff. You know, what, arbitration agreements and all this stuff. You know what I mean? But no, it's actually regular. The agreements that I read from this company and the ones I read with ATS are relatively straightforward. They're just really fucking long, you know. So you don't really need a lawyer, you know. I mean, you know, if you want to get one, you can. You know, I didn't feel I needed one. You know, I understood the contract pretty well. You know, would I suggest Western's lease? Not from what I've heard, not from what I've experienced. And not from what I think they're fucking paying, which is like a flat $1.06 a mile or some shit. You can kiss my ass, man. I'm not doing that. Flat dollar, no. My sliding scale, I would do. But flat $1.02 a mile, $1.04 a mile, fuck that. That's ridiculous. It's stupid. You know? No, that and their trucks are shit. Their trucks are garbage. Their freight is garbage. Their freight is literally garbage. You know, they haul garbage out of New York, but no, Western runs really cheap freight because they pay their drivers next to nothing because of the per diem mix. So if you lease with them, like, you getting paid next to nothing, you get a shitty cheap truck. You know, their trailers are falling apart and stuff. I would not lease from them. No. Negative. Nice one, Pac-Man. I was like, really? Not a fan. I do not like them old style trucks. I think Kenworth W900s are kind of cool, but I like the droop nose version. Maybe they're not W900s. Maybe they're something else. But Kenworth has an old style truck, but it has a droop nose. I really like those. I think those are cool, but you know, I don't like them old style trucks, man. No, you can't renegotiate the lease. That lease has been drawn up by a team of fucking lawyers, and which I'm sure cost them boatloads of money to drop those agreements. And they're either you agree to it or you don't agree to it. That's it. You can't change a fucking thing. It's all set in stone. And I think the big reason why is so it's uniform across the board. Everybody has to conform to the exact same rules. Because to change any part of the agreement, you would have to have a contract lawyer come in and update it. You know, and they don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So it's either you agree to the agreement or you don't sign it. That's pretty much it. Is it the T600? Is that what it is? You know, where they got the square nose but the droop nose? I think those are fucking cool. I'd probably never buy one because it's Kenworth. I like Kenworths, but I think they're expensive. But I use a tax service that Rail recommends. You don't have to use it. By law, they can't make you use any kind of service through the agreement, but they have a company that specializes in owner operator taxes and finance. And it's not a 660. It's a square nose. It's not aerodynamic. It's older than that. You know what I mean? It has the old style fucking headlights. You know, it's not a 660. Is it? No, it's not a 660. But what the fuck was I saying? No, I never drive to Alaska. I want to, but I don't want to do it in a truck. I want to do it. I want to do it on a road trip. I don't want to do it working. If I ever go to Alaska. Rail's trucks are governed at 63. Mine's governed at 76 because I'm Lease. I don't go out west very often. I don't go to Arizona very often. I actually have a terminal in Arizona, but I don't go out there. You know, company guys go out there more than I do because the freights are all over the fucking place. Yeah, with the studio. See, I like them studio sleepers, man. That's what turned me on about those Kenworths. They got all those windows and shit, and they got the long sleeper. I think those are cool, but they're probably really expensive. But if I could get one of those when I buy my own truck, that would be fucking cool. Oh, what time is it? What time is it? It's 10:40. What time do I gotta be at this place tomorrow? I don't know what time I don't know what time I want to wake up in the morning. The clock resets in 8 hours. If it's 10:40 now, the clock resets. The clock's going to restart at 6:40. So I'll have a reset at 6:40 a.m. local time. Okay, I leave out at 6:40. I get to the receiver about 9. So I got to get up at 6. Okay, I got to get up at 6. As a lease driver, I'm not forced dispatch. I could turn down loads, but I don't run off a load board. They present it, they show me the load, what it is, where it's going, where it picks up, how much it pays, and I either accept it or I turn it down. That's it. You know, if I turn it down, I don't like it, they gotta go find something else, which I usually don't do. Usually they're pretty good at getting you good loads. They keep you real well paid. You know what I mean? It's rare that I turn down a load. If I turn down a load, it's usually because of hours. You know, I don't have enough hours to run something, or, you know, something really, like if it's a hay load, because hay loads can be total fucking nightmares and stuff like that. But, you know, usually I don't turn down loads. But no, I'm not forced dispatch. No, we don't run more than one load at a time. It's all truckload shit. We don't do any LTL, you know. But you can make good money doing LTL, but it's complicated shit. You really got to be on your game, and I'm sure it's been done if freight was slow enough, but I've always run full truckload. You know what I mean? Alright, well, it's late enough, man. I still gotta walk the dog. I gotta get up in the morning. I'm gonna end it right here. This is good, though. Let me ask you guys before you bail out of this live stream real quick. Before you bail out. I started this... I know some of you guys have kind of come in late and stuff like that, but I started this at this stream at, I think, 7 p.m. Central Time. Is that a good time? Should I do it a little bit later? Should I do it earlier in the day? I just figured Sunday evening, 7 p.m. Central Time was like a relatively good time where people could, you know, fucking watch, wouldn't be working or something like that, be free. You know, 7 p.m. that kind of a good time? You know, 7 p.m. on a Sunday? Pokemon jammies? Yeah. No, they're Spider-Man jammies, actually. I got Spider-Man pajamas. I put them on. You know, I put a lullaby on my phone and all that stuff. Yeah, okay. You know what? All right. This live stream seemed to work out pretty good. I'll do another one. I'll do more. When I do them, I'll put them. I'll do what I did before. I'll put it up on the channel. I'll announce the scheduled live streams just so, you know, you guys can see, because I can't guarantee I'm going to do it every single Sunday. I'm usually off on Sundays, but not always. So I don't know if I'll do. Maybe I'll do another one next week. You guys will see on the channel. You know, if you get the notification or whatever, it'll be scheduled on there. If I'll do another one, I'll do another one like Sunday, you know, 7 p.m. Central Time and all that shit. But I'm outie, man. I gotta walk the dog in the snow and go to bed and shit. I don't want to talk to you people no more. Fuck out of here. You guys go to bed too, all right? And get up and work tomorrow. It's good talking to you guys, man. Good stream. I'll holler at you guys later. How do I end this thing? Let me see here. You guys take it easy.